The story of Canada spans thousands of years, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and the Great Lakes to the Arctic Ocean. Indigenous peoples thrived here long before Europeans arrived, shaping unique cultures and histories. They lived in balance with nature, developing sophisticated systems of governance, trade, and spirituality. The arrival of European explorers in the late 15th and early 16th centuries marked a turning point. This meeting of worlds had profound consequences for the future of Canada. The coming centuries would witness the clash of empires, the displacement and resilience of Indigenous peoples, and the birth of a new nation. The First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples of Canada represent a rich tapestry of cultures, languages, and traditions. From the Haida Gwaii to the Inuit of the Arctic, the diversity of Indigenous cultures is astonishing. The Anishinaabe, Algonquin, Cree, Mi'kmaq, and countless other nations each developed unique ways of life. These cultures are characterized by strong family ties, respect for elders, and a spiritual connection to the natural world. Traditional knowledge passed down through generations has enabled these communities to thrive for centuries. Their resilience and adaptability in the face of European challenges are remarkable. Long before Columbus, Norse explorers reached the shores of North America. Around the year 1000, Viking sailors, led by the legendary Leif Erikson, established a settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland. This remarkable feat of seamanship provides a fascinating glimpse into early European interactions with the New World. Archaeological excavations at L'Anse aux Meadows offer valuable insights into the daily lives of these Viking adventurers. The Norse sagas vividly describe encounters with native inhabitants they called Skraelings. The story of the Vikings in North America highlights the importance of archaeological research and oral traditions in understanding our shared past. The 16th century saw a surge in European exploration and colonization of North America. Driven by the promise of new resources and wealth, European powers embarked on ambitious voyages across the Atlantic. The French and British, locked in a global rivalry, both sought the riches of this new land. Their competition extended beyond mere exploration, as they aimed to establish dominance over vast territories. The fur trade emerged as a powerful economic force, drawing Europeans deeper into the interior. Beaver pelts, highly valued in Europe, became the cornerstone of this lucrative trade. Indigenous hunters played a central role in this burgeoning industry, exchanging furs for European goods. Their knowledge of the land and hunting skills were indispensable to the success of the fur trade. The fur trade had profound consequences for Indigenous communities, leading to increased intertribal warfare and dependence on European goods. The introduction of European weapons and tools altered traditional ways of life. For Europeans, the fur trade paved the way for further exploration and colonization. It opened new routes and opportunities for settlement, pushing the boundaries of European influence. Trading posts evolved into settlements, solidifying European presence in the region. These settlements became hubs of economic activity and cultural exchange. The competition for control of the fur trade fueled tensions and conflicts between the French and British. These disputes often escalated into military confrontations, shaping the course of history. This rivalry shaped the political landscape of North America for generations. The legacy of these early conflicts can still be seen in the borders and cultural influences that exist today. While the fur trade dominated early European interaction, France had ambitions beyond commerce. In the 17th century, French explorers and settlers established New France, a vast colony. Samuel de Champlain founded Quebec City in 1608, a strategic outpost on the St. Lawrence River. Quebec became the heart of New France, a center of trade, administration, and French culture. Life in New France was challenging, with harsh winters and conflicts with Indigenous peoples. Driven by economic opportunity and religious zeal, French settlers built communities reflecting their European heritage. The Catholic Church played a central role, with missionaries seeking to convert Indigenous peoples. They established missions and schools, shaping the social and cultural landscape of the colony. New France laid the foundation for the future development of Canada. The 18th century saw escalating tensions between France and Great Britain over control of North America. The fur trade, territorial ambitions, and religious differences fueled this rivalry. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy played a pivotal role, forging alliances with both the French and British. The 7 Years' War, known as the French and Indian War in North America, was a decisive conflict. The Battle of the Plains of Abraham in 1759 saw British forces defeat the French army. The Treaty of Paris in 1763 ended the war, with France ceding control of New France to Great Britain. This transfer of power marked the beginning of British dominance in Canada. The struggle for control had profound implications for the future of the country. It shaped Canada's political, cultural, and linguistic landscape for generations. The British conquest of New France had profound consequences for the diverse peoples living in what is now Canada. This event marked a significant turning point in the history of the region, altering the social, political, and cultural landscape forever. Indigenous peoples faced the harsh reality of British rule, which brought new challenges and disruptions to their traditional ways of life. Meanwhile, French-speaking Canadians found themselves becoming a minority in their own homeland, navigating the complexities of a new colonial power. The late 18th and early 19th centuries were a period of significant political, social, and economic changes. These transformations set the stage for the future development of Canada, influencing its path towards self-governance and unity. The American Revolution had a profound impact on Canada, leading thousands of Loyalists to flee north. They settled in regions such as Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Ontario, bringing with them their loyalty to the British Crown and their hopes for a new beginning. The influx of Loyalists not only strengthened ties to Great Britain, but also heightened tensions with the French-speaking Canadians. These tensions would play a crucial role in shaping the political landscape of the emerging nation. The desire for responsible government grew stronger over time, culminating in significant rebellions in Upper and Lower Canada in 1837 to 1838. These uprisings were a clear indication of the growing demand for political reform and self-determination. In response to the rebellions, the Durham Report was commissioned, recommending the unification of Upper and Lower Canada and the granting of responsible government. This report laid the groundwork for future political changes and the eventual path to Confederation. Leaders from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the province of Canada met in Charlottetown in 1864 to discuss the possibility of union. This conference was a pivotal moment in the journey towards Confederation, bringing together key figures to envision a united future. The discussions and negotiations culminated in the British North America Act of 1867, which united these regions into the Dominion of Canada. This act was a monumental step in the creation of a new nation. Confederation, celebrated on July 1, 1867, marked the birth of Canada as a nation. This historic day is now commemorated annually as Canada Day, a celebration of the country's unity, diversity, and shared heritage. Confederation in 1867 united the core of what is now Canada, bringing together the provinces of Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. However, the dream of a nation stretching from sea to sea was far from realized. The purchase of Rupert's Land in 1870, a vast territory owned by the Hudson's Bay Company, paved the way for westward expansion, adding an enormous area to the young nation. Manitoba joined Confederation in 1870, followed by British Columbia in 1871, which was promised a transcontinental railway, and Prince Edward Island in 1873, further solidifying the nation's growth. However, this expansion was not without its challenges. Conflicts arose between the Canadian government and Indigenous peoples over land rights and the preservation of traditional ways of life, leading to significant tensions and disputes. The Canadian Pacific Railway, completed in 1885 after years of arduous construction, was a monumental achievement that connected Canada from coast to coast, fulfilling a key promise made to British Columbia. The CPR facilitated the transportation of people, goods, and resources across vast distances, transforming the economy and fostering a sense of national unity and identity. The completion of the CPR opened up the West to settlement, drawing waves of immigrants from Europe and other parts of the world eager to start new lives. The promise of free or inexpensive land, advertised widely, transformed the demographic landscape of the Canadian West, leading to the establishment of diverse and vibrant communities. The 20th century was a period of profound transformation for Canada. The country emerged from British imperialism, asserting its independence on the world stage. Canada played a significant role in both world wars, forging a new sense of national identity. The post-war era saw significant social, economic, and political changes. Canada embraced social welfare programs, expanded healthcare, and promoted multiculturalism. The economy diversified, moving beyond natural resources to new industries and technologies. The relationship between English and French Canada remained complex, with Quebec experiencing a surge in nationalist sentiment. Indigenous peoples continued to face systemic discrimination and the legacy of colonialism. Land claims, treaty rights, and the fight for self-determination remained pressing issues. Residential schools left a lasting legacy of trauma and abuse. From its earliest days, Canada has been shaped by waves of immigration from all corners of the globe. Indigenous peoples, European settlers, and later immigrants from Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, and Latin America have all contributed to the rich tapestry of cultures. Canada's official policy of multiculturalism, adopted in 1971, formally recognized and celebrated this diversity. Multiculturalism encouraged immigrants to retain their cultural heritage while embracing their new identity as Canadians. Canada's commitment to multiculturalism has fostered a generally open, tolerant, and welcoming society. Immigrants have enriched the cultural landscape, invigorated the economy, and contributed to social and political development. Canada's diversity is a source of strength, making it a more vibrant and innovative nation. As Canada enters the 21st century, it faces new challenges and opportunities. Climate change, globalization, and technological advancements are reshaping the world. Canada's history is a testament to the resilience and determination of its people. From the first inhabitants to waves of immigrants, Canadians have consistently overcome adversity and embraced change. The story of Canada is still being written, with ongoing dialogue and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. Canada's legacy is one of resilience, diversity, and a commitment to building a more just and equitable society for all its citizens.